In this video, I'm going to be talking about 10 ways to improve your social media. Point number one, and probably the most obvious one, is choose your networks wisely. The platforms that you use dictate whether you're going to be successful or not using social. Now, here at Be More Social, we suggest that you spread your digital footprint as far as wide as you possibly can. There's lots of them to choose from, so why not be on all of them? But you're going to have a particular platform that's going to scream out the most to you, okay? For us, it's LinkedIn. So we're choosing LinkedIn to lean on, to concentrate more on creating great and valuable content. So please make sure that you choose your networks wisely. If it's Facebook, if you're in retail or what we call B2C, business to consumer, it's most definitely going to be Facebook and Instagram, maybe even TikTok if you're in the sports, health, well-being, fitness arena, okay? So choose your networks wisely. Otherwise, you might just be chasing the network, to be fair. Point number two is set goals. There's no point in posting at all unless you know what you're posting for. What are those goals? Are they to hit a certain level of engagement? Are they to sort of bring on fan growth so that your platforms and profiles are growing? Or is it to genuinely bring in customers? If so, how many? Set goals and write them down. Give it a figure. Make sure that it's visible for all to see, because if you can see it, you can believe it too. Point number three is have a strategy, okay? Once you've set your goals, you've got to have a strategy to be able to go there and create like a roadmap to success, so that at least every time you pass each marker or milestone, you know you're getting closer to hitting those goals. So please make sure you set those goals. Things to look out for is understanding your audience. What topics and subjects are you going to be talking about on your social media platforms? Is it usable content? Do you have stuff already that you use? These videos that we create day to day are, 10, 15 minute long videos, but most importantly of all, there'll be little micro assets within each of these videos that we could extract and then put on the social media timelines and news feeds for little micro kind of content and clickable, clickbaity type broadcasts. Point number four, make sure that you create your content plan with your audience in mind. This isn't a plan for you to show off your wares or anything like that. You've got to make sure that you understand your audience, and most importantly of all, you understand your value proposition. What makes you valuable to your audience, and that is the stuff you need to be talking about, not how well you're doing and what you're doing and what, there's a lot of people out there that do this right now. We've got a new member of staff, we've got this, we've got that, we've got the other, and it's going to be this much. That is not the kind of content we're talking about, okay? So have a plan and stick to it. It is your value proposition that is going to be really, really important to you. There are a ton of different scheduling tools, and this brings me on to point number five. Point number five is make sure you schedule your content in, otherwise you're going to forget about it. Doing it day to day is an absolute bind. But what I'm not saying is use something like Sprout Social, Hootsuite, or all these other scheduling tools, because Facebook's algorithm doesn't like third-party posting tool. This is why it gives you the Creator Studio. The Creator Studio allows you to schedule Facebook posts, and it also allows you to create or schedule Instagram posts as well. TweetDeck for Twitter, and I'm afraid you're going to have to use something like Hootsuite or Sprout Social for LinkedIn. But at the very least, by using those other two platforms, you have a source of data, okay? This is really, really important too. Point number six, and probably one of my favorite and the most important of all, make sure you engage with your audience. All of these platforms give you an opportunity to listen on the timelines and news feeds and engage appropriately, okay? Don't just automate it. Don't copy and paste the same kind of boring standard quote. That sounds great. This sounds interesting. Read the context of the prospects that you're trying to engage with and engage in a way that is befitting to what you want to do. I have a list here. So comment on posts, start by participating in conversations, share relevant information, share user-generated content. So if somebody speaks about you, reward them, thank them. If there's some mention you in some way, be sure that you are got one ear to the ground and you're ready to pick that up and forge that relationship with them. Address complaints and criticisms as quickly as you possibly can. Otherwise, these things take out of control. They completely get out of control and spiral. And show appreciation for your customers by thanking them every once in a while. Point number seven is make sure your timelines and news feeds are full of value. We spoke briefly about your value proposition, but it's very, very important. Think of the job to be done with the service and product that you provide. Steve Jobs did an amazing job of explaining what the iPod did, okay? Now, before the iPod came out, we still had MP3 players, but what they spoke about was this 256 megabyte of storage space, which meant nothing to me. I'm techie, I'm geeky, but I'm not deep tech that I understand what that means. But what Steve Jobs did, he says, listen, this device will put 1,000 songs in your pocket. That is valuable information. I love my music. I want to be walking around with it. No problem at all. That is why Steve Jobs was great at what he did. Not necessarily talk about the tech and the gubbins inside, but talking about the value it is to the end user. That is what we mean. Point number 8, maintain a consistent broadcast. Always, consistency is the key. All of these platforms have an algorithm, and consistency is necessary, A, to appease the algorithm, because they look for predictable patterns in your broadcast, but so too do your audience. If you show up one week and not the next, and a little bit the week after and nothing for a couple of weeks, then they're very quickly going to forget about you. So consistency is key, guys. And point number 10, monitor your progress. Again, I mentioned about Hootsuite and Sprout Social. They deliver a degree of data. Every month you can download a PDF that tells you how you've done so far, how many link clicks that you've had. But you don't have to buy anything like that at 50 or 100 pounds a month. What you could be doing is just clicking on each of these different status updates and taking a look day by day how your content is doing. And that way you'll learn a hell of a lot about what you're broadcasting and more about how your audience perceives you too. Listen, I hope you found that useful. Please do like and subscribe. I'm trying to create some form of value. There's lots of free hints and tips I'm going to be putting out at least once a week, every single week. So please, if you found this video valuable, be sure to give me a like and a subscribe so that you get the notifications. Take care. Bye-bye.